I went to fencing. So because it was taster week, I figured that we probably wouldn't have any equipment, right? Wrong. So I get there, you're talking to people, you're meeting people. The coach comes in and he has these huge bags full of stuff. So I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe that's just for like the club people. No, it turns out the people who are in the club already have their equipment. All the bags were stuff for us. So he says, if you've never fenced before, come over with me and we're going to put your equipment on. So he's like, unpacking his bags and stuff like that. And then he says, okay, there's no really good way to say this. So, ladies, you're going to want these, and I'll just let you all do it. And he's pointing to this pile of like these white looking like plastic things. And all of a sudden, it occurs to me, they're boob cups. And I know you're probably like, what the hell's a boob cup? A boob cup is essentially when you're fencing, yeah. And boob cup is not the official name. Boob cup is what I call it because I just think it's better than whatever it's called. It's probably called like a protective chest, blah, 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 boob cup. So when you're fencing, people go in for the point, and that's a big target area. So, I guess if you didn't wear one, you'd get really good at fencing, either that or be in pain a lot as a woman. But, so there's this stack of boob cups, and all of these girls, we all just met. So we're like, hi, okay, and there's different sizes. So you just met people, and then all of a sudden you're having to look like, oh, well, okay, well, I got this one, but this is like a little bit too big for me, but it might fit you, and you have other people going like, these are too small, does someone have a bigger one? Interesting experience. So I could totally see why people just buy their own equipment. But he had those, which were nice, so we put them on, and then there's this like protective, like it's almost like a muslin canvas like sleeve thing you put on, and of course because I'm left-handed I have to like switch it inside out, and then we put the jackets on which zip all the way up the back. I looked really awesome. Oh well, I am sick. Things I've learned about being sick in a foreign country. You don't know any of the names of the medicines. I would do some crazy shit right now from some NyQuil. I would. I had to go to a lecture tonight for a guest speaker for a class. I was physically there. Mentally, I was in La La Land. Candyland. I was in Candyland. No, you can tell the mental state of me right now is awful. But I went. It was interesting. I won't bore you. It was about European policy and mergers and minority shareholdings, and I'm not going to bore you. I thought it was interesting, but I tell you, the last 30 minutes of it, when he was kind of repeating and reviewing, I was like, oh, and then there was question section, and I didn't want to leave, because half the reason I didn't want to leave was because the room was going like this. So I waited until most people had left before I got up to go, because I didn't want them to think I was drunkenly walking out of the room going I had some people from back home before I left say that they would love for me to add in stuff about my course. I haven't done a lot of that so far because, it's been the beginning and we're kind of just getting into things. And plus, a lot of what I'm doing is reading lots and lots of textbooks. So I haven't quite had the chance to digest all of the material yet to be able to dazzle you all with knowledge. But in one of my courses, we watched a documentary on YouTube was part of our reading and stuff. I want to put the link below in case anyone wanted to watch it. I will warn you, it's about 45 minutes. It's from the BBC, so it's a great documentary, but it is from the early 2000s. You can tell that by the hair and the dress and just the general graininess of the video. But it's really fascinating. It's basically this guy, he is saying that we are not completely a globalized world, but we need to become one, and that's the only way to lift certain parts of the world out of poverty. Now, I know you probably just went, I'm sorry, what? Is she still talking? Yeah, I am. Surprise! I'm a talker! But really, if he makes the argument that sweatshops are a necessary evil, but are necessary to pull countries out of poverty. And he goes through, and he actually goes to a sweatshop in an Asian country. I can't remember exactly which one the sweatshop was in because he went to so many countries. And talks to the workers and all like that, and kind of presents his ideas. So if that is something that would interest you, or you're at least like, I'll watch 5 minutes of it, or if you're like, I don't remember what the early 90s were like, and the graininess of videos, I want to watch it, nostalgia, then you can click on the link below. It's actually a really interesting documentary. I'd love to hear if some people watch it, which, trust me, I'm not like, yeah, I should watch this, but it is interesting. I know there are a couple people back home that would want to watch it. And if you do, please let me know thoughts. I'm finally getting over my cold, but I just was informed. So all week I've been going to my classes with my cold because they preach to you that you only have 10 lectures, so you should not miss any of them unless you're dead or dying. Even though I felt like I was dying, I still went. But I kept telling all of my teachers that I was sick. I would sit in the back. I was so sorry, but I wanted to not miss the lecture. And every time I told them I was sick, they went, should you be here? You could stay, but just don't touch anything. So I just found out that in the UK, when you tell someone I am sick, you mean I am vomiting. And if you want to tell someone you're like, sick in the sense of like, I don't feel well or I have a cold, you tell them I am ill. So that really explains why I had one lecturer be like, are you sure you shouldn't be at home? Are you positive? Meanwhile, I'm going, no, I'm fine. So I've basically been telling my teachers all week that I came to class even though I was vomiting. Oh my gosh. As if I don't already stand out. I'm sure they think I'm crazy. So crazy. I seem to, for some reason, have this accent that no one can believe that I'm from America. I actually had an American ask me if I was sure I was from America because my accent wasn't American. I'm not sure what that means. So yeah, I mean, I've always known I have a little bit of an awkward speech pattern, but I didn't think I had an undetectable dialect, but maybe this means that I could be like a spy, like woman of mystery, like you don't know where I'm from. I don't know, am I American? I don't know. I mean, I had a couple people ask me if I was British, which, if you're in theater with me, I know you're laughing right now because, let's be honest, I was in a show, Wind in the Willows. If you don't know this, here it is. I was in a show, Wind in the Willows. The last minute we decided that our characters were going to be British. And by the last minute, I mean 3 weeks before we opened. So I tried to study a British dialect and failed. So yeah, I definitely don't sound British at all. So have a good laugh thinking that some people think I'm British, and most of the people have no idea where the hell I'm from. Yeah, so woman of international mystery.